So it's supposed to be FaceTiming, but boomers and tech, my face isn't popping up. It may pop up, it may not. If it does, you're welcome for that. But if it doesn't, it's cool. I'm gonna try to make this video as short and sweet as possible. So when we get to vocab and we get to slides, I'm gonna ask you guys to pause it there and read through it on your own. I'm gonna try to summarize everything as effectively as possible. This week is our last week of health. We're gonna be transitioning into physical fitness. Using Zoom Live next week, which I'm excited about because I miss physical activity. I miss being able to interact with you guys. That's the fun part of my job. And I think it's going to be a break for all of us because I'm tired of recording these videos. You're tired of hearing my voice, at least pre-recorded. So yeah, we're going to just plow one through this week. However, today's assignment is going to be a learning goal. I have to reassess 1.4. And Thursdays is going to be a short video with a short little assignment, but then like a little bit of a assessment for 1.2 and 1.4. This will give you at least three attempts at every learning goal so that the grades I put in are solid, because after this week, no more grading from me, which you're happy about and I'm happy about. All right, so let's finish strong. I'm just going to jump into the slideshow. All right, again, I'm going to ask for you guys to pause it at certain points to give yourselves the information you need. All right, and I'm just going to try to summarize everything as quickly as possible. I'm going to take a little bit more time when I actually go through the resources. All right, so let's get started. All right, so briefly, today we are going to have one goal that has two parts. We're going to learn how to evaluate different resources that can help us deal with violence and bullying. In order to do that, we will define a criteria for analyzing resources. That is a fancy way of saying we're going to come up with questions to ask ourselves to see if this is a good resource or if this is a bad resource. All right, and basically we will look at actual resources to determine if they are valid or not, right? So we will actually practice what I just said. All right, do now question. What do you need? What do you do when you need to find information or a resource, right? So in other words, how do you get information or resources in today's day and age? Go. The answer is we Google it, or you just search it up on the internet. Maybe you don't like Google, right? But at this point, Googling it Google is basically the verb we use for searching things on our phones or on a computer. All right. So searching it up on the internet is great. Google will send you tons and tons of answers to whatever you search for. But just because it gives you answers doesn't mean that those answers are quality. So today we're going to focus on figuring out how we use resources effectively, specifically ones that are going to help us avoid or prevent bullying or violence. First things first, we can't evaluate resources if we don't know what a resource is. All right, so this is a vocabulary slide. I'm going to ask you guys to copy down these definitions. All right, but really quick, a resource is any person, group, agency, or source of info that can help you. An adult can be a resource. A documentary can be a resource. A website can be a resource. A legal document can be a resource. All right, but for a resource to be good, it has to be reliable, valid, and accurate. All right, I'm not going to read these. These are pretty straightforward. Take a moment, pause this slide, take a screenshot, write down the definitions, whatever works for you. Just make sure you know this information. All right, moving right along. Evaluating information resources. So there's two things we need to think about: if it's reliable and accurate, or if it isn't. All right. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing for each bullet point. All right, but this top section here, if it meets these bullet points, it is a reliable, accurate, trustworthy resource. It is reliable, it is valid, it is accurate. This stuff down here, if it meets any of these criteria, then it's not. All right, so I'm not going to read through the bullet points again. I'm going to pause right here and ask you to just jot it down or take a screenshot or a photo so that you know how to distinguish between the good and the bad. All right. What I'm going to do is more give you an example. So verified or shown to be true, information is up to date, right? So it's a recognized organization or government, right? So if I am researching, I don't know, I'm looking for information on domestic violence shelters. And I come across a .gov website with experts in the field that's been dated within the last 6 months. That's a solid find. If I'm Googling the same thing, and what I get is a TMZ article saying what shelter a certain celebrity donated to, and TMZ's website is populated with a bunch of ads saying it's trying to sell me products, then I know I'm probably not in the best place. All right, moving on. So what I basically just did was give you a sample decent one and a sample not so decent one. And I did it by thinking about these kind of things, right? Who created the website? What does the URL tell me? Are the people who supplied the information experts? Right? So when I'm thinking about the website itself, if it ends with .org or .gov, it's informational, right? .edu, right? It's a little tricky. It's mostly informational, but sometimes it can be a college that is trying to sell you an education. All right. But most of those three, .org, .gov, .edu, are going to be solid. All right. If it says .com or .net, oftentimes it is trying to either share opinion or share something with me that I can purchase. They are looking to either sway my opinion or they are looking to get me to buy something. Okay. All right. And based on those sites, most often you're going to be able to determine, is this person an expert that's giving me information, or are they just selling me something? All right. What's the website's point of view? So again, there's a lot of bullet points here, but effectively you want to ask yourself, is this tainted? Is this not giving me a full picture? Is it just arguing one point and not a full picture? All right. If it's arguing just one site, if it's really trying to get me to believe this or side with this thing, right? If it's not backed up by facts and it seems very opinion-based, then it's not a solid source. All right. If it's facts that can be substantiated by links and other data, then you're okay. So when was the website created or updated? This is super important, right? Information needs to be new and updated. And depending on what the topic is, new and updated has a different meaning, right? So in the time of COVID, something about COVID or coronavirus from February is not going to be as useful as something from last week. That's ever changing. That's science. It changes quick. It's changing all the time. We're getting more information all the time. However, for most things, most concepts like violence or bullying, these things are all good if they're within a year or two, right? They don't change as quickly. So if it's from a year or two ago, it's likely to be solid. And the way you can check is to click the links that they provided as their research. Once those research links are not viable anymore, the websites that put them up will pull it off. So if you click a link and it doesn't work, that's because they decided the information is not accurate anymore, right? They only keep up-to-date website up at these reputable sources. Who is the website for? So this is going to tie directly into the next question of, is the website trying to sell me something? So does this website meet my needs? Is it information? Is it resources? Is it things that are geared to help me? All right. Who is this information geared to? Is it someone like myself who's looking for information about violence, or in this case, violence or injury prevention, or bullying, right? Or is it just generalized information? Is it entertainment? All right, which brings us to the following thing of, is this website trying to sell me anything? So is it giving me random advice that doesn't necessarily make sense? Is it not painting the whole picture when it's giving me advice? Also, are they selling me something? Is there some way that they're trying to separate money from my wallet? Is there something they're trying to sell me? If they're trying to sell you something, then they don't care if you get information or not. They care if they get their money, okay? So that's all good in theory, but most importantly, it's time for us to practice this. So I'm just going to jump right in, right? So as you can see in the tabs here, right, I did anti-bullying search and I did an anti-domestic search. I took something that came from page 1 right here. I took something that came from page 7 right here. Page 1 on a Google search usually has more up-to-date, more accurate information. Although read it, sometimes it'll say sponsored. If it says sponsored, that doesn't mean it's accurate. It just means that Google is taking money from them to put them toward the top. In this case, this just came up and it's a .gov, so they're not selling me anything. I went to page 7 because there was a lot of .govs here and I wanted to get something different. This was one of the first .coms I came across. Based on the tab, you know where that is. All right, so let's just jump in. Give me a second while it switches over. All right. Sorry, guys. You know how it is, boomers in tech. There we go. All right. So now I'm recording the right tab. All right. This is from stopbullying.gov. Okay. It is a government website. It is a federal government website. You will always see this at the top of a federal government website. Okay. I went into the blog section because I was looking for something written, some kind of like particular article. And this article is dated November 4th, 2019. So it is recent, which is good. That's one of my checklists, right? It was created by the government, created by experts. This particular blog piece is actually summarizing a meeting of the world's leading experts on bullying and bullying prevention, specifically cyberbullying, as a way to try to like find ways to help people out. All right. The website was created for people like us who are just looking for information. It has tons of links to other amazing resources. All right. And yeah, this is basically a pretty solid website. Oftentimes you can tell if it's a government website because it'll have different languages because they want everybody to have this information. They're not trying to hide the information. They're not charging me anything. And again, this was a panel of the top experts in the world. So this is an excellent resource. All right. So then again, I did a search for anti-domestic violence. So I know we haven't covered domestic violence in detail. Domestic violence is just violence that happens at home. Sometimes it is gender specific and sometimes it is not. All right. And I went to page 7 and I found the first .com I could see. And it is an Amazon.com, which is kind of going to help us know right away. All right. So we pop up. The link took me here. And I see that they are selling me a book. First thing we ask ourselves is, are they selling me something? They're selling me something. They're selling me this book. The book is titled Domestic Violence, The 12 Things You Aren't Supposed to Know by Thomas B. James, who is a JD. A JD is a Juris Doctorate, fancy way to say lawyer. So this lawyer might well be an expert on domestic violence. However, even though his blurb says stuff about research on domestic violence and conclusions, I'm not getting any of that information up front. I have to purchase the book to even get an idea. Just because he's a lawyer doesn't make him an expert. So this isn't the best place for me to be looking if I'm trying to get information and resources that I can use today. Right? I have to buy the book. I have to wait for it to come. All right. And it's also just, it's a commercial website. It's on Amazon. The author is trying to make money. The website is trying to make money. And while making money isn't a bad thing, the truth is if it was just geared for me to have the things I needed, I wouldn't have to go here, right? I would have to pay for it. All right. So in closing, I'm going to show you one quick screenshot. All right. I'm going to attach a link to your assignment today. It is going to be to this website. Okay. You are going to look through it. You're going to answer the checklist and you are going to tell me if this is a valid resource or not. And you're going to explain why. And that's going to be for a learning goal for 1.4. All right. Bringing us back to the slideshow. Alrighty. So in closing, I just wanted to put out a quick push for office hours. All right. There's a schedule going out this week. Take a look. I will be on Zoom live during those office hours times. I will also be live during the time you are doing this. So from 11 to 12 on Monday. I will be there from 11 to 12 on Thursday. Get this done. It is for a learning goal. And Thursday will be 1.2 and 1.4. It's going to be short. All right. But it's going to be for a learning goal. I need them grades. All right. And then again, moving forward into next week, we're good. No more grading from me. Just us working together. Hope you sign up for my classes. If you don't, no hard feelings. All right. Look forward to seeing y'all in person as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I will settle for seeing y'all on Zoom. So y'all have a good one. All right. I wish y'all all the best. Hope everybody is good, healthy, and well. All right. Pretty much it. Miss y'all. Scotty out.